Hi folks, Dave Schmidt here. Hey, it's right around noon here on November 17th as I'm coming to you today. I had to stop, pause, remember what is the month. I want to thank you for all the support that you've had. I got a couple administrative announcements that I want to make before we start. First of all, again, we have about 8 seats left for the workshop in Baltimore this weekend. We'd love to have you there. And then seats are already filling up for Seattle on December 5th. Now, I know it's not possible for all of you to always make it to the workshops. I understand that. But it's just been in the last month I've kind of finally come to a decision that I'm going to start looking for doing a series of videos around what I do and what is shared there. And so that way it can be expanded to all of you. It's time to do that now. Also, I want to thank everybody that showed up on Sunday night for what I call the community prayer. We had over 400 people show up. The response was so absolutely overwhelming positive that they said, let's do this every week. So I will. We're going to start expanding that. It will always be done on Sunday evenings, 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. I won't abuse your time. We'll only keep it to around 15 to 20 minutes. But here's the reality, folks. All of us are here first and foremost because we want to see the funds come through. It's time for us, and I'm taking the lead role in this myself, to step up and say, let's do what we can to help accelerate that process. I've been around various forms of prayer for about 40 years. I've learned what works and what doesn't work. And I'm going to share with you a process that I absolutely really believe that works. I did touch on that Sunday night. Now, I forgot to record the program, but I guess that was kind of our guinea pig night, working out the bugs night. And so I've worked it out now through what is called freeconferencecalling.com, that you'll either be able to call in on the phone or you'll have a link and you can listen to it on the computer. Either one will be fine. I've got it so that we have eliminated all the dings that take place every time somebody checks in. That won't be happening. So we're going to start doing this, and I know a lot of you are really excited about this, but here's what it is. It's time for all of us to do our part and to not just sit back and be passive, but to become assertive, to take action in bringing about what it is that we truly want. So I want to thank all of you. You'll be joining me on Sunday night for what is called our weekly community prayer. As I said, I'll only go on for about 15 to 20 minutes, so it won't be very long. If you can't make it, they will be recorded. And after the event, I'll send out a newsletter with the recording and say thank you to everybody that came and participated. Okay, one other thing I just want to say. I want to say thank you to all of you that have been with me through a little over 2 years now. And as you know, each week when I have a newsletter, I post it onto YouTube. Well, I reached a milestone this week. If you go to my YouTube page, I don't know if it shows up for you, but it does for me. This week, I passed the 1 million views on my YouTube page. That's right. I've had people click on my YouTube videos now over 1 million times in just the last 25 months. And what that means is I've averaged right around 9 to 9,500 views a week. And I just want to say thank you so much for all the faithfulness. You're being there, whether you're short-timers, long-timers, or whatever. But what it really reflects is you want to be here. And that says a lot to me, because I get to do what I love to do, what I'm supposed to do, what I'm divinely called to do. And I'm excited about what's coming our way. So once again, I want to say thank you. Now, on that note, what's the topic this week? Well, it's kind of a little bit of a shift. I want to talk about that whole thing called the human ego. The last couple of weeks I've been talking about there is a need, a desperate need that we all have to what is called to heal and clear the human ego. We live in a world of what is called a duality world, where everything is of duality. Everything of it has a sense of opposites to it. Left, right, up, down, right, wrong, good, bad, and the list goes on and on and on. It's not just the world of this earth that is duality consciousness, and it's not just the universe with all of its planets, with all of its galaxies, and with all the different alien races that are out there, which we basically understand that we're not alone here on Earth. But it even goes all the way to the omniverse. Everything of what we would call the creation is dualistic in nature. Because see, this whole world is dualistic because at the very root core it was created by what is called our separation from God. It's back to the biblical metaphor of what is called the separation. We chose to separate ourselves from God. And when we did that, we are the ones that created the duality. And it doesn't mean it make any difference whether it's human beings in a physical body, or whether it's souls that are in the astral plane, or other entities of other alien races. All of it is a world of duality. And because we're in this world of duality, we're separated from God. And because of that, we only have one primary objective and goal: to go back home, to go back to heaven, to return to our sense of oneness in God. Because see, in God, everything is connected, everything is unified, everything is one. And in heaven, everything is oneness. And you can't take a duality consciousness, a duality mindset, a duality belief system into heaven. It won't fit. Because as soon as you get there, you will be so far out of balance, so far out of place energetically, you can't handle it. In fact, some people say this is when we die and we go on to the astral plane. Yes, we do experience the release of these physical bodies and the density of Earth. But even there, there's still duality consciousness. And at some point in time, we have to come back here to continue to work through that process of undoing the ego mind. It's the ego mind that creates everything that we have. And when I say the ego mind, it's because not only do we live in a world of duality, it also means we have two minds. We have an ego mind and we have a divine mind. You can sense the ego mind: density, harshness, anger, frustration, problems, and it can even create for you temporary joys, happiness, great experiences, but they never last. In the divine mind, you experience that sense of oneness. You experience the sense of peace. You experience the sense of totality. You experience the sense of harmony. You experience the sense of abundance. You experience the sense of what is called deep joy, deep peace, a calmness. Everything is serene. Everything of life flows. Everything makes sense. We get to taste that now and then. But down inside, we know we don't live there all the time. And we come to a point where we ask ourselves the questions every once in a while: why can't I have this all the time? Well, we can. But the way that you do that is you have to heal and undo the ego mind. Because see, when we come into these physical bodies, the default mindset is the ego mind. And the ego mind is everywhere around us, everywhere in this world. And what does the ego mind mean? Well, it means you basically have become attached psychologically to this world. And we believe that it's real. And it's only in our thoughts, only in our minds, do we really believe that. And by believing that it's real and being attached to it that it's real and all the experiences that we have, that's what feeds it and keeps it alive and keeps it going. And at some point in time, we have to retrain this mind so that the ego mind will fade away and the divine mind will take predominance and take control. What does that mean? Here's the bottom line. To heal the ego mind means you have to basically relinquish, release, and let go of all psychological attachments to anything of this world. That's a huge endeavor. And yes, it is a huge endeavor. Because you see, it's the reason we have to keep coming back lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And most people, entities on the other side, would tell us, you guys, you humans, you've been around here for hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes, if not over 1,000 lifetimes. So at what point in time do we want to get off the merry-go-round? Because see, the merry-go-round, it's just filled with different experiences. And sometimes our soul wants to experience different things. And so what we'll do, quite often, we start out in this world really attached to the 3D physical world. We try to find meaning and purpose in jobs, in relationships, in success, in money, in notoriety, in accomplishment, to things that make us look good to the people around us. That's still an attachment to the third dimensional world. And then when we've gone through all those different merry-go-rounds and the different experiences, and it's kind of like, life is in the amusement park, and sometimes we've even gone from ride to ride to have different experiences, and all of a sudden we come to the point where we realize this amusement park life isn't working, because down inside it's not doing anything to bring you back home. And the cry of the soul is, come back home, wake up. Because see, the life that we're living in reality, it's just a dream, it's just an illusion. We're living in this holographic world that we think is real, but really it's not. And even quantum physics today is beginning to show us the physical world is not real. It's just a holographic dream and an illusion that we're living out in our mind. But we make it and sense it being real because we believe in it, and we hold to it, and we attach ourselves to it, and the outcome's positive or negative. Well, at some point in time, we realize this amusement park stuff isn't working, and that can be what's called the third dimensional amusement park. So we leave that amusement park, and we just end up going to a different one. And this time, the amusement park will be filled with spiritual experiences. And we will go through the different types of spiritual modalities and everything that comes at us, whether it's forms of religion and Christianity, whether it's forms of thinking that you're in touch and you have a wonderful guide, or whether you think you got a wonderful guru. And then we will begin to experience all the different wonderful spiritual healing modalities. Whether it's Reiki, whether it's SRT, spiritual response therapy, whether it's you are channeling and you're in touch with your guides and you're in touch with your angels, and whether you can go so deep into your meditation and have all kinds of great, wonderful experiences, whether you can have angelic activations, or whether you can even come to the point of being what you call a master yourself in different forms. And you can raise your vibrations to the fifth dimension and have all these deep, wonderful spiritual experiences. But guess what, folks? Until you are willing to recognize that there is an ego mind that has to be healed, it's just another amusement park. Now, there's nothing wrong with all those experiences, and there's nothing wrong with all those different healing modalities. Absolutely nothing, because they are forms, or they are useful tools that help wake us up to come to the point and realize this isn't quite working. It isn't quite working. Because you see, it doesn't make any difference whether you're in the third dimension, fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh. It just doesn't. It's still a form of duality that is just an illusion. And at some point in time, we have to start recognizing, wait a minute, I got something here I need to fix. I have something I need to change. We will go out and we will try to fix our world because the world out there seems so horrible, bad, evil. But in reality, our attempt to fix the world is only a projection of when we're saying that we have something inside us that needs to be fixed. Because see, what we see happening in the outward world, every bit of it, everything you experience, everything that you observe is just a projection of what's taking place on the inside. So if you perceive evil, it's a reflection of the evil thought process inside of you because you perceive it. Sometimes what we do is we will think that if I enter into this exercise, if I become a really good person, if I become someone that is so loving, so caring, so forgiving, if I do nothing but give blessings to everybody around me, then that's going to make me okay. And really, those are just another rides on the merry-go-round because you're ignoring or eluding the very core issue. The need to first recognize there's an ego mind. Secondly, the need to heal it. Nobody goes home. Nobody goes home until you've done that. Nobody. This has been a journey for me that I've been on about 40 years. And it's really just been in the last 1 to 2 years that I'm really starting to get this. Because see, when I come to you as a teacher, I'm really teaching what I'm learning myself at the moment, because teachers always teach best what they're going through at the moment of time. So sometimes the Holy Spirit will guide me into directions of things to talk about, things to say. And that you that are here with me, the faithful, you're collectively coming along with me. We are all teachers and we are all students to each other. None of us are exempt from one or the other. Some of us take on different roles or different things that we do. And you know what? And that role may change from lifetime to lifetime. You step into a role, you stepped into a life for this lifetime to take on a specific purpose, to learn something. But in the end, at the very, very bottom foundational core, you still have to understand it's all going to lead you to coming to the need to heal the ego mind. Nobody gets back to heaven until you've done that. Nobody. It doesn't make any difference how good you are or how bad you are, what kind of experiences you have, how spiritual you think you are, whatever dimension you think you're in, whether you're channeling angels or whether you're doing astral projections or where you're getting to visit the other planets in the universe. It's still just an experience. Because you see, when you come to the point of oneness with God, it transcends all of it. All of it. Next week, I'll talk about what it really means to be healing this ego mind. But first of all, you have to recognize it. And here's what I can say for you. How do you do that? Get in touch with your thoughts and your emotions. They will tell you what's going on at the subconscious level. If you stay stuck in the conscious mind, then you're going to be out of touch. And if you stay stuck in the conscious mind, then you basically, life is being dictated to you. You don't have really any control of what's going on around you. Because see, your mind is really, most of it, the most powerful aspects of it is at the subconscious level. And it's at the subconscious level that you basically make all your decisions of what you're going to do or not do and how you're going to choose to live your life. It's at the, and you get in touch in those very, very quiet moments when life isn't happening to you, you're not out pursuing something, you're not doing something good, you're not doing something bad. In those very, very quiet moments, and quite often those are the moments when you go to sleep at night, that your soul really begins, the busyness of the chatter mind quiets down and the soul begins to become to the forefront. And it begins to let you see and experience and feel what's really going on at the deeper levels within yourself. It's there that you really begin to see what it is. It's there that you can see the ego mind, and it's there that you begin to change it, to heal it. Is it hard work? Absolutely. In fact, see, A Course in Miracles teaches the healing of the ego mind. There's huge, huge, huge resistance to it. Your ego will come up with 1,000 reasons why not to go there. One of the things it will do, it will let you say, oh, let's go have this experience over here. This looks really tantalizing. This looks really important. This looks like it'd be a lot of fun. This looks like it will expand my consciousness, expand my universe, expand my awareness. Just another merry-go-round that the ego wants to bring your way. Now, there's nothing wrong with those experiences. The issue is attachment to them. Why are you going after them? You see, as long as we're in physical bodies, we're going to do what physical bodies do. So there's nothing wrong with having the experience. There's nothing wrong with seeking a deeper spiritual experience. There's nothing wrong with going through different spiritual modalities. There's nothing wrong with enjoying food, enjoying the physical life. It's just that you don't become attached to it and make it real. So when you're having the experience, you kind of rise above the attachment. And even rising above the attachment, you actually have the experience and you enjoy it more. Whatever it is that your passion is, you become better at it. Whatever it is that you love, it takes on a greater, deeper sense of love. When you rise above the attachment, you become free. Free of the dominance of the ego. Now, one of the things I can share with you is that when you quiet your mind, I talked about the importance of meditation. Meditation is an absolute necessity if you want to get to the point of freeing yourself and healing the ego mind. I'm going to tell you something. I just don't know anybody that can get there without doing that. There might be a few exceptions out there. I'm just not familiar with them. There are moments you experience the divine mind. Its sharpness, its clarity, its peace, its joy. It's a sense of oneness, a sense of fulfillment. It'll be there for a period of time, and then it will fade away. Why? Because the ego mind will come back to its dominance. Remember, the default thought system of our world, living in these human bodies, is the ego mind. And we have to heal it and undo it. And when you start to do that, then whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that's your passion, whatever it is that is your love, it explodes. You've heard my story. It was a couple of years ago that I was struggling in so many things. Financially, my life was falling apart. I was having conflicts in some relationships with the people. But I started to aggressively and assertively work this forgiveness process, the undoing of my ego mind. And I reached a point in that segment, it broke, and it was finished. And ever since then, for the most part, my life has been a life of what I call ease of abundance, a flow of ease. Yes, I still have some relationship issues that I'm working on with a few people. But for the rest of the most part, life flows for me. So I'm understanding now, I've been able to shift from outward issues to focusing on the few relationships that I have that I'm working through issues with. And those people that kind of press my buttons, those are my gifts. They're the ones that are bringing up the ego mind in front of me, says, here it is. This is what you get to do. Work this process. Let go of this. Release it. Surrender yourself to the power of God. Surrender yourself to the Holy Spirit and let go of any attachments that you have to them, or anything that they may want to do in your life, or any relationship that you may want to have with them. When you release the attachments, you start to become free. Now, this work is work. Here's what you need to understand, though, and what's important for all of us to understand. There is nobody else that can ever do that for you. No spiritual teacher, no forms of spiritual healing modalities, no forms of spiritual awakening and awareness, no forms of anything that will increase your vibrations and frequencies, nothing that will give you an elevated sense of spiritual awareness. It can never, ever, ever, ever come from someone else. That is only something that you and you alone and me alone can do to ourselves. Because at the very end, it all comes back to just you. And when I say that, it applies to just me. Because see, in a world where everything else is an illusion, there is no out there. There's only you and God. And when you receive the position of oneness, there isn't even you and God. There's just all. To get to that point, it's just you. You have to do your work. And as I mentioned, the ego will throw 1,000 faces of resistance of why you shouldn't do the work, or bring up something that seems very tantalizing and very important and very powerful, and these things that I just have to do. They're all just distractions of getting to the very, very core thing. And that core thing is healing the ego mind. When you come to that point, and usually what will happen is you'll come to the point where the things of the world just don't mean that much to you anymore, because you've been there, done that, had that experience, and you're saying, I want off, not only do I want off the roller coaster, I want out of this amusement park called life, and I want to go home. And you come to this point where you want to go home, and you become singular focused on that, and you start to do the work. And you will be amazed that when you start to do that, and you make that become a priority in your life, how much the Holy Spirit will lavish upon you the awareness, the work, and the understanding of everything that you need to do. It will find you. It will come to you, because your soul will be calling it and attracting it to yourself. Your soul will attract to you the desire. And what will happen is all of a sudden you can go through a period of time where it seems like life becomes worse. Why? Because the very, very deep shadow parts of your life will start to rise up to the surface. And they'll come and they'll stare in front of your face. And it'll be somewhat painful, but you'll clear it. And you'll heal it. And you'll taste that. And once you taste that, you realize, wow, you really don't want anything else. Your soul will begin to hunger for that. And you will continue to strive for that, to go forward with that, and to work on it. And you'll work on it more. And you'll do what the Course in Miracles talks. You won't only just work on it with diligence, but you will pursue it with vigilance. It takes work. It takes vigilance. And it's a repetitive process of doing it over and over and over and over and over again. Course in Miracles teaches that once you come to that point of understanding that you have an ego mind, that you have a need to heal it, and that you start doing the work vigilantly and diligently, you will still most likely have another lifetime to live after the one you're in currently. Because see, it takes a good 2 to 3 lifetimes of vigilant work to do it. At that point in time, you might say, I give up. Why should I do it? You're going to do it. Because the Course says everybody returns home. Everybody returns back to God because the separation never really occurred. That's called the atonement process. The understanding that the separation never really occurred. It's just an illusion, and it's only in your mind when you begin to wake up from the dream do you come back home. So the question is, when do you want to do it? It's not a question of if. You're going to do it. You can choose to do it now and be done quickly in a lifetime or two, or you can choose to hang around for another 1,000 or 2,000 years, living in this physical body, having to go through all the pain and the suffering of a physical life. When do you want to do it? I'm doing it now. I've never said that before, and I don't want to sound arrogant, but the reality is, this is the deepest passion in my life. I've never really shared this publicly because it sounds kind of arrogant. But yet, on the other hand, it's not. It's only arrogant to those who really don't know who they are. See, I know who I am on the other side of the veil. I know why I've come into this life. And part of my role is to be a teacher that will live by example. I know where I'm going. Now, ask me some specifics of physicality. I don't really know. But in the larger picture, from a sense of spiritualness, a sense of growth, a sense of purpose, it's very clear for me. My job is to experience this awakening process. My job is to go through this healing of the ego mind and share it with you and show you how it works and then get to display to you what it's like when I'm finished. And you've truly reached a stage of what is called true mastery. That word mastery gets thrown around a whole lot. And what I mean by mastery is you've mastered the physical body. See, that's what Jesus did. Jesus finished his final step of healing the ego mind upon his resurrection. That was his last final lesson he had to learn. And when he finished that, he mastered the human body. The human body at this point had no restrictions to him. It didn't tie him back one bit. He became a full, complete, functional, fifth dimensional being. Could travel, what is called mind travel. Could literally be here and just like that appear somewhere else around the planet. There's other stories around that. I don't have time to go into that all that right now. That's where we're going. That's where I'm going. And then I know what's going to happen when, yes, we still live in a world, because as long as we're in a world of form and physical bodies, we'll do things that physical bodies do. But what I am doing, I'm coming to the point where I'm releasing all of my psychological attachments to this physical body. That way, then, it doesn't hold me back. Do I still experience it? Absolutely. But I experience it with the taste of heaven. I'm going home. Come join me. Let's do this journey together, and together we will get there. Thank you for listening this week. I love all of you, and I know that we're on a wonderful, wonderful journey together. Thank you again. Okay.